Hello?
Hello?
Oh, good. I thought something crazy had happened with the phone call here, the mechanics of it. So, Hargo Bend is here, and who else is here?
Tina.
Tina, welcome. Glad to have you,
Hi.
dear. Yeah, who else is here? Huh?
Suzanne.
Suzanne?
Hi.
Tina, were you going to say something?
No, I just thought you said something.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, who else is here?
Tejpreet.
Tejpreet. Welcome,
Yes.
dear.
Thank you.
And where are you from? Remind me again.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Did you get that storm?
Yes, we did. It's over and done with now, but yes, we did.
Okay, good. I mean, well, I'm glad it's over and done with.
Mhm.
And who else is here?
Good evening.
Oh, hi, sweetie. How are you?
Hello. Good. How
are
you?
All set up there? Are you in Dallas?
Yeah, pretty set up and established.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been having a cold for the last 2 weeks, and I keep thinking about you, all the wonderful stuff. And I'm thinking maybe I just had better decide that you're my, what do you call it, Ayurvedic doctor.
Ayurvedic practitioner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll doctor.
I'll hook you up.
Between you and me.
I'll send you a little box of stuff.
Well, let me get on the phone to you, and I'll order it, okay?
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Oh, by the way, everybody else, she's incredible, and her web address is, please say it,
www.busydaygo.com.
Good. Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. And who else? Who else is here? Huh?
Satkrapal.
Oh, hi, Satkrapal. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
I'm glad to have you. Who else is here?
Honey Munder.
Oh, hi, Honey Munder.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, who else is here?
Carol is here from Juneau.
Oh, good. So Honey Munder and Carol are from Juneau. Let me ask you, Satkrapal, I forget, are you from Texas?
From Long Island?
Oh, sorry, Long Island. Another one with a storm.
Yes.
I get my places all mixed up. Okay, so who else is here? Anybody else? Okay. Is Rahmani here? Okay. So, there's one. Who just came on?
Sadaka.
Hi, dear. How are you?
Good.
Oh, good. Are you living in Texas now?
I am, yes.
Okay, so there are 3 of you from Texas on the call right now.
Hee-haw.
Yeah. You got it. And who else is here?
Namaste Rahmani.
Oh, yes. I was looking for you. I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
Sorry we're a little late.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Who else is here? Okay. Well, shall we get started? Okay. So please sit straight, palms together at the center of the chest. And begin long, deep breathing to relax. That's it. Relaxing. Eyes at the third eye point. And relax in the third eye point. And really focus on what you're doing here. Om Namo, the incredible infinite. I salute, I name. I salute that which changes darkness to light. Okay, now inhale to begin. One deep breath. Good. And heart breath. That is long, deep breath from the belly through the nose. And on the exhale, feel as though the air is coming out of your heart center. Good. Let it heal you. Let yourself just relax. Let yourself relax. Good. Doing heart breath. And now, please send this beautiful, beautiful heart breath to one another, to the collective of us, of this Soul Answer tribe. Good. Now, be aware that as you continue to do heart breath, you are adding power to this energy. It's just in a very relaxed way. Good. Keep up, please. And now, Babaji is asking that we send this beautiful energy to Northern Africa, to the Mideast, to that whole Mideast and Northern Africa area. He said what was done by practitioners, by healers, by projectors, people who prayed all over the world for a truce between Hamas in Gaza and Israel was absolutely instrumental in their truth. He says, please keep up this extraordinary breath, which he says is a projection of truth. it's not to control them, but it is to offer a cradle, a place of safety, so that they may allow healing in their own minds and their own hearts. Remember, it's for the sake of allowing. And be sure that your own fear doesn't get embedded in it. Just pure peace, pure love, pure, he calls it containment, but it doesn't mean like putting in jail. It means like bundling a baby, making them feel safe and secure, swaddled in the blanket, so that they're no longer crying or upset. Good. Keep it up. He says he wants an extra dose, please, of this time. He says, if you have ever wondered about or projected about the peace of Bethlehem, he says, this is the time, my dears. This is the time to engage. And kindly forgiving your own misgivings, surrendering your own misgivings, concerns and worries about peace, whether it be in the Middle East, whether it be in your own heart, or, he says, or in the political parties. He says, with anyone or anything, he says, surrender the guilt, surrender the fear, surrender the fear that goes with not being peaceful. So that you may enter peace, which allows that peace to extend to anyone who would vibrate with it. Good. Now inhale and exhale. Good. He says, and now, my dear ones, he says, the first thing he said was, have you been thinking about your Christmas gifts? Sir, what are you talking about? He says, I'm talking about your Christmas gifts, to all, from all. He says that this time of the year, he says, well, you've seen how crazy Black Friday was. He says you all have an idea that you need to go out and you need to spend money on people, on things, on stuff in order to give gracious joy. He says, yes. He says he understands that. He understands that this is a great engine of the economy. And so he's not fighting it, but he's saying that it also puts a great deal of pressure. This cultural custom puts so much pressure on the nerves of everyone. He says, now please start at this very moment by recognizing the fact that you will not stress out during this holiday season. He says, we've just been through a bit of a peace process here. He says, so do you think running ragged through the stores with great anxiety, great angst about getting just the right present that will bust your budget, he says, do you think that brings peace? He says, no. He's asking you to look at this very carefully. He says this is a very most practical exercise. He says if you live in this world as a generator of worry, he says you are pulling yourself away from what he calls the icon of peace. Now, sir, what do you mean by an icon? He says, you know when you click on those little icons on your computer, he says, you know how it activates the link? He says, that's what I'm talking about as an icon. He says, it is something that activates the energy. The energy or the portal to that energy. He says, understand. He says, please consciously. He says, please consciously divide your time between living in peace, that is, just flow, being kind and peaceful, calling people, connecting heart to heart. He says, divide your time between that and giving peace. Sir, what do you mean by giving peace? He says, well, sometimes people give those fruitcakes. He says they're not always appreciated, but he says, you know, something yummy, something that gives to people's kindness. He says it doesn't have to be connected to money. He says it could be a precious little baby picture. It could be a branch of holly with some very pretty red berries. He says there are ways that you may extend peace, that you may give peace by using, he calls them cultural icons. He says, now these don't have to be $500 TV sets. Do you understand what I'm saying? He says, do not live by the cultural norm. He says, we are.
Hello?
Yeah, I think Siri Gian must have dropped her phone call.
Oh.
Do we wait for her, or do you think we hang up and all dial in?
I don't know if she can dial back into this. That's probably a good idea to dial back in.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.
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 If she can dial back in, let's wait. We're calling her on a separate cell phone to let her know to dial back in.
I'm in. This is Suzanne.
I'm in too. It's Tina.
Hey, okay. We got a couple of things there.
Rahmani and Tomas are here, but I don't think Siri Gian is. I could try calling her landline, but I doubt she'll pick up.
Yeah.
But I'll go try them.
That's what I was
okay.
trying to call her cell.
Patty Munder is calling her cell.
Oh, okay. I am too. One of us
Hey,
will
good.
get it. Hey.
I guess this full moon would be a good one for the Venus gong tonight, huh?
I think so.
Maybe we can all continue the meditation on pressing the icon of peace.
That's a really good idea.
Connecting.
All right.
I'll share that shalom means surrender and is usually translated peace. So maybe we can talk about or share surrender as peace.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Surrendering to the all. Surrendering to the power within us that is one with the all and knows it. And knows that everyone else essentially is one with the all as well.
I do more than, this is Suzanne, here, and I don't know if it's just a blitz of trying to promote spending, but it's obnoxious what you're hearing, what I am hearing lately about if there's this much spent today, and it's so far off track. It's so stunning to me that it's a huge, huge financial push. The season, the holiday season. I don't know if y'all listen to the radio or hear it. It's stunning to me what I'm hearing.
I'm completely out of.
Oh, good.
I'm completely out of that loop, but I really resonated to the idea of cradle. That one of the images that I find I can use around Christmas is that we all are the cradle. We all are the Christ consciousness birthing. We all are the pure vehicle, the Virgin Mother. We all are the provider, the protector, Joseph. We all are the wise men that have followed the heart of the star to this sacred place. We all are the shepherds who are being drawn to honor this new birth. We're all of it. We are the star guiding people to our own birthing of our own intrinsic, illumined Christ consciousness.
That's nice.
Yeah, it helps me be in the Christmas thing in a way that works for me.
Yeah. Like probably the way it was intended.
Yeah, it feels that way to me.
Yeah.
It's deep and serviceful and loving. And
fulfilling.
Hanukkah. Yeah, fulfilling. And Hanukkah coming up in about a week and a half. It's the same idea of honoring the light. And that a small group of people turned the tides and made all the difference by speaking up from what they knew to be true for them. Are other people here, or is there something we think we should be doing?
Well, we hung up, and then I called back in.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm right
Hi,
here.
This is Ted Fried. I would actually put the call on hold because I'm at work and I had to answer another call. But when I came back on, what was going on? What happened?
Oh, you got lost. Okay. There's a disconnection, and so Siri Gian's not on the line, but doesn't know that she's not. And we all hung up, or most of us hung up and redialed in, but we still haven't been able to catch her.
Okay.
She may have hit the muted button like she's done before and not realized that she's muted herself. If you remember, she has done that a few times.
And so before she left, she was talking about peace and giving the gift of peace during this season. And Suzanne was talking about how insane the cultural norm is. Yeah. And I was sharing a little bit about how I work the dynamic of the holidays in a way that works for me. So I think we're just open to sharing about peace and how we can contribute to this season in the best possible way for ourselves and for our families and our communities in the world. There's also the winter solstice coming, which is being heralded as the beginning of the Aquarian age, and there's a whole huge movement called The Shift with Barbara Marx Hubbard, and she's talking about December 22nd as the birthday of the new humanity, and to celebrate our new birth. And there are gatherings all over the world that are taking that track, that instead of bemoaning all the insanity going on, that we're celebrating that we are coming into this new period of our evolution as conscious beings and supporting each other and using the energy to expand ourselves in love and in service.
Do you think that's how the manifestation of how things will look just like that? The people taking responsibility for things and empowering themselves, and so it's not so much. Do you think that's how we will see the change of the times?
Yeah, for people who have made that choice, yes. For people who are attaching to holding on to what's been, they will see devastation and falling apart, and they will continue to validate their excuse to be fearful and depressed. But yeah, I think there's a co-arising that is a whole lot more appealing to all of us on this call, because we can actually feel it, we can contribute to it, we have power in our connection with the One to actually help activate it. It's very exciting. It's like this new step in the evolution of humankind, which I think is part of the reason that we're here, and is, to me, one of the greatest ways we can give back to the source is to continue to manifest the ongoing creativity that is the nature of the source. So yeah, and it's definitely worthy to be celebrated because it's completely new and co-created. I don't think anything like this has ever happened on this planet before that I know of.
Or maybe it's done it in increments, like when we had an age of light. When we have certain things like during, maybe they've been in increments, and this is the next increment. That's probably whatever. Of course it is. But I imagine it to be the next step. Oh, this could be us.
Yeah.
This is
Hello?
Hadi Munder. There was a really nice explanation of the full moon today and what's going to be happening. It's talking about the polarity between broad, far-reaching global ideas and concepts versus the need to implement simple practices, networks, and creative communities among neighbors, which are really important at this time. And it said, this lunar eclipse has an edge to it that forces us to start making necessary changes and is pointing in the direction of communication, balance, and healing. It is the prime time to shed the old programmed ways and alchemize your inherent gifts. It says outdated ideals or dreams may need to be discarded, which can be painful but necessary. We are experiencing an emotional and spiritual awakening to today's truths as the clutter is cleared away and our present world is seen as in a new light. In the next 6 months, we will redefine our personalities and our image. The new you emerges. Keep in mind as we go through the process that all of this is good and part of our pattern of growth as we take on a proactive approach to living. So that's today's message for the full moon.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That fits in so much with what we were sharing.
Yeah.
Since we're still here together, I want to share that I'm feeling so much now that our ancestors are kind of piggybacking onto our proactive involvement here, our co-creating, our co-arising And so many of the enlightened ancestors in spirit realm are cheering us and encouraging us, like on the sidelines of our path as we walk forward in this huge caravan, sending us encouraging energies.
That's awesome. And when we talk about I think where was the Venus gong? It's new for me. How is that something that you all practice in your hometowns during the full moon or during special times?
Can you say again what do we practice?
The gong. Oh gosh, I can't remember. When they were talking about doing I thought he said Venus gong, where during the full moon there's time. That's the time when you practice that, and I just don't know about it.
Yeah, Hargobind was talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still on the line. Venus, this is Guru Ravi. The Venus gong is a kappa gong, so it has water, and the moon is the water dosha or element.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's what he was talking about. Hargobind and I do a gong and a prosperity meditation every night, 8 o'clock my time, so 9 o'clock Eastern time. If anyone would like to join in on that, that would be awesome.
Oh, I would.
And I think he was asking me if we should do the Venus gong tonight.
Oh, I would definitely.
Normally, I have the planet Earth gong, and Neptune, which would also is the watery gong. He has a Venus and an Earth.
I wonder if you could put that on the call into this this conference call and put the gong on the call. It would be lovely to dial in and listen to it.
That would be awesome. I'm sure Hargobind could figure that out easily.
Yeah, I really think that would be...
He's a lot more technically gifted than myself.
You say you do that at 9 o'clock Eastern?
9 o'clock Eastern, and yes, 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Are you in Mountain Time or?
I'm in Central Time.
Oh, so 8 o'clock Central.
So
yeah,
7 o'clock Mountain
7 Mountain.
Are you Guru Ravi?
I am.
Okay, I'm from Dallas too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What part of Dallas are you in?
East Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And you?
I'm in North.
Where? Okay.
North Garland.
We're actually close.
Oh, all right. Oh, we should get together sometime.
Absolutely. You are the one that has the busydago.com.
I am.
The Ayurvedic.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, Ayurvedic practitioner. So
wonderful.
I'm in contact with the Plano Spa. I don't know if you're familiar with them, Plano Ayurvedic Spa.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad you're
trying to work on fitting me in there. What would be the best way for me to fit in? And then my eventual plan is to do panchakarmas here, offer them at my house.
Oh.
So that I can take care of people while they're going through that. That'd be just, one person at a time.
Yeah. Oh, I could be one of your first clients. I'm so curious.
Oh, really?
About
Okay, that sounds awesome.
I'm just something that I've always been curious about, but really don't know much about it.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Oh, good. Then you can teach me all about it.
I could. Yeah.
Let's stay with the group meditative mind, and glad you two connected as well. Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we can stay with heart breath. We can keep beaming it out for the holiday, full moon, solstice times. And please, if anyone has thoughts or images that came up from what Baba Siri Chand shared when Siri Gian was online with all of us, that would be wonderful. Maybe we can send heart breath to our own ever-growing Christ self and see it linking up with the enlightened, anointed consciousness of millions of people all around the world. And so we have this network of mutually supporting light beams from heart to heart all around the globe. Celebrate this birthday of the new humanity in the Aquarian age. And I'm sure Baba Siri Chand is laughing with us and encouraging us to dance and celebrate with our every breath. And we can connect with all the people getting ready to go to winter solstice in a few weeks. Doing their sadhana in the misty, humid, warm air of Florida. Feeling recently the consciousness of Jesus asking us all to please forgive what was done in His name and to express that to other people, especially people of Jewish origin who have been so traumatized by things done in the name of Jesus, and to clear that name through understanding who He is, who He was, and how His name in Hebrew means reality restores us. Satnam restores us. True reality heals us. Maybe we can celebrate all the new babies being born in their full Christ consciousness and send them heart breaths so that they only grow in that shining presence that they are. If anyone's near a gong, maybe they could play for us. Are people still here? I could share a poem of Tomas's about
I'm still here.
Okay. This is called Invoking Holy Mother. Lovely Mother, loving Mother, she who mends and soothes, bless us with your words, embrace us with your tenderness, engage us in your work. You who move the earth, remove our fears and bathe us with your tears. Instill the voice of peacefulness, yet waken us from lethargy, and hear our hearts rejoice. Let us make a place within which welcomes all your children home, and call gladness here to stay where pain had dwelled.
God bless you, dear. That was lovely.
Siri Gian.
Hi, what happened? I got to the end and sharing, and then I said, now who can share? And there was not a voice at all. What happened?
We couldn't hear you. Yeah.
For how long could you not hear me?
For a long time.
Pretty much a long time.
Half an hour.
Are you kidding me?
We tried
it was right after talking about the icons of pieces and icons.
Oh, brother. You said a lot today.
Well, we can listen to the recording.
Huh?
We'll still be able to listen to the recording.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Would that work, really? Because if we couldn't hear her, it would be connected to her phone system, right?
I don't know. We will not know until we examine the recording.
Okay. Must have been a reason for it, though. We've got to give it that.
There you go.
So
there you
we
go.
all hung up. We hung up and tried calling in again, but that didn't help.
When I got no response, then I called in again.
So maybe you can recap some of what was said.
Good idea.
Okay, so... Okay, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to do it because I don't really... Okay, he says, okay, discernment. Did you all hear about discernment?
No.
Nope. Okay. So what he was talking about is, so, sir, will you say it again? Yes, he says, it is discernment to, he says it is not the classical term of detachment or detesting, to discern between the cultural icon and the heart or the heart breath that comes through you. He says in this cultural icon that he's talking about, this is the time, the season, to let go of the pressure to give gifts. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The part that gives you anxiety, that gives you, that wraps you up, that trips you up, he says, this is the time to let that go. He says, do not judge it up or down. He says, simply stay in the kindness, in the openness, in the pavan. He says, the moving of the heart energy. He says, you must believe that you are the God. He says, you must believe that you must understand that you are the living presence of the kindness that moves through you. You must understand that love moves through you. And he says, one of the cultural icons to let go of is the way that we normally think about love. In other words, if I love you, then you owe me. He says, please obliterate that. He says, please obliterate trying to be accepted so that you get. He says, let it go, let it go, let it go. He says, that's your Christmas carol, let it go. He says, rather, he said, discern being in the love, being in the kindness, being in that flow. He says, God, you call God is love. He says, that is absolutely true. He says, but you must understand that there is a willingness to be you. There is a kindness to be you. He says, and that is what naturally, authentically flows from your own heart, from your own grace, from your own kindness. He says, please try that now. Please try that now. He says, can you feel that? Will somebody answer so I know that you're there?
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, feel
Siri
that.
Gian, it fits in with what we were saying, some of us, when you were gone, that we are the anointed consciousness being birthed. We are the Christ child, as well as the safe container, the cradle that Baba G mentioned, and the pure mother that births the consciousness and everyone else.
Fabulous. He says, now, this is a time, he says, this is a time when you are moving out of cultural icons that say that you must be with this way. He says, moving out of, for instance, your relationship with your boss. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay. In this culture, we often are in a relationship of being the victim of the person in authority, whoever he or she is. And so you say, oh, they are not fulfilling to me. They are not doing right by me. He says, you need to let that go. He says, when that happens, you only increase the opposite of peace. He says, instead, be in the heart. Understand that if somebody is being nasty to you or mean or whatever, he says that is an expression of their own pain. He says, so why would you continue it? Why would you allow that vibration to then pick up on you as the next car in the train? He says, instead, he says, be in this peace, be in this kindness, be in this knowledge of who you are. He says, the flow, not judging if anybody is good or bad, not judging if perhaps you forgot to do this, not judging that you were bad. No. He says, you just come back to it. You stay abiding in this heart center, in this precious breath. And that way you understand that what you are doing in every instance, in every situation, with a clerk who can't get it straight, you are sharing your heart. Do you understand? You are simply, everything is an opportunity to be in your heart, to allow the breath to flow. So that you may come together under the auspices of whatever it is, the project, whatever. He said, now that does not mean rolling over and letting anybody do whatever they want to do to you. Oh, no. He says, that's not being in your heart. He said, that would be living the cultural icon. He says, the love doesn't mean anxiety of giving and not getting. He says that's not love. He says the love is being who you are and allowing that energy of the prana to move through the heart so that it maintains, it changes, it transforms as the vibration, as he calls it the willingness of the God love. So he says this is a time to begin to, he calls it part the waters between the cultural addictions to what should be, I should get, they should not. Those are cultural addictions, my dears, he says. Instead, he says to be who you are. He says, you are God. God is love. Okay. He says that sometimes this love does not, he says the love comes from the present. He says the response comes from the present, the flow of this kindness and love that moves through you. It doesn't mean that you're a pushover, but that you can negotiate. Do you understand? And what comes through you may be very surprising, so be very open and aware of this. And he did mention that as a prana comes through your heart, it changes into this extraordinary vibration. So is Guru Ravi here? Okay. Because he said she would understand that because she understands the gunas.
So, Gian, are you recording this section? Could you, if you know? Could you record this section? Good.
Yeah. When I called back in, it said this call is being recorded. So I suspect that what has been recorded is what you all have been talking about, and somehow I got dropped off. That part was not recorded. He says, and that is what we are moving into in these coming days. As we, he says, a lot of attention has been focused on the on this upcoming solstice, the return of the light. He says, but this, my dears, he says, you are getting ready for that now by living this truth of discernment of the reality of this presence that flows through you as differentiated from the cultural addiction of I should have this, you should love me, this is your fault. He says those are cultural addictions. He's, for instance, in the way he has been framing it in the very beginning was, I have anxiety to get you a present that you will really love so that you will love me in return, so that you will think well of me. He says, give the gift of love in the most kind, sensitive way that you can, that will spark that recognition of beauty, that recognition of sensitivity, of knowing the other person. He says, what a pleasure that is. It is the gift of connecting, however that might be. That is the important part. It says, now, does anybody have any questions about this? And he says he is so grateful. He is so grateful that you all stayed with it. And he says, in the future, we need to do a little check-in once in a while to be sure that we're still connected.
Thanks to Rock, who really held it together and kept us all, going on it. So
who did?
Rachmane.
Oh, good. I am so pleased. I'm so grateful.
Rachmane for doing that.
Yes.
The spirit of the Christ as it came through Yahushua, Jesus, was nudging me, and I was a little reticent because I really wanted it to be co-created, and it was because the people who stayed on were sharing some as well. And then we were feeling the ancestors, our ancestors, piggybacking on our commitment, and the other saints and sages coming on, and as well as the wise men and the shepherds, and everyone was coming to witness the joy of the birth of the Christ consciousness that we are embodying.
How delightful. Well, I'm definitely going to listen to the recording of this then. And I really appreciate it, Rahmani. She and I have had this conversation before that if for some reason I'm not present, that she would come forward. And I'm so happy that everybody contributed. That is so fine. And so he says, yes, this was right. Everything that happens is just the way it should happen. So God bless you, dear. And thank everyone. Also, I'm thanking everyone for that.
Also, Guru Ravi shared that she and Hargobind are doing a full moon gong meditation, and so we talked about could they use the conference line so that we could tune in at 9 o'clock East Coast and so on across the country.
On the day of
the full moon, which I think is today, the full moon. Yeah,
Hadi Munder.
Yeah, today or tomorrow. And Hadi Munder shared what the meaning of this full moon is, and it was so much in sync with what Baba Siri Chand was saying.
Okay, is Hadi Munder here now?
Yeah.
Okay, can you repeat it? Because I want to know.
Okay, I was reading something that came, a couple of different people had put on Facebook, and it was the full moon today is very special, and I can put it on the Soul Answer
on the Facebook group.
Facebook too, but it said that the polarity between broad and far-reaching global ideas and concepts versus the need to implement simple practices, networks, and create communities among neighbors becomes paramount at this time. This lunar eclipse has an edge to it that is forcing us to make necessary changes and is pointing the direction of communication, balance, and healing. This is the prime time to shed the old programmed ways and alchemize your inherent gifts.
Oh, that's what Baba Siri Chand was saying. Go ahead.
Outdated ideals and dreams may need to be discarded, which can be painful but necessary. You are experiencing an emotional and spiritual awakening to today's truths as clutter is cleared away and your present world is seen in a new light. You will redefine your personality and your image over the next 6 months. The new you emerges. Keep in mind as you go through this process that all of this is good and part of your pattern of growth as you take on a proactive approach to living.
How wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of what Babaji was talking about. We're all on the same path. How about that? How about that?
Called the full moon, the beaver full moon.
The beaver?
Yeah.
Now, how's that?
Okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. Now, how will we use this conference call to support the gonging with Guru Ravi and Hargobind? When will the gonging be?
They're doing it, I think it's
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock
Eastern time?
Eastern time.
And 8 o'clock Central.
Guru Ravi, yes, Central.
When? Tomorrow?
Tonight, I think.
I think tonight.
Tonight. Yeah.
It's the 28th.
Siri Gian,
Mm-hmm.
when you sign on to this conference call, is there a host code or a special access number that you would need to pass on to Hargobind?
I'm going to send them emails, and we'll figure this out. I'm teaching tonight, so I might not be there, but I'll talk to them.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Oh, and okay, so I'll figure it out. And then I'll leave a message. I'll put a message on Facebook, and I'll put a message on the Baba Siri Chand page. Okay? Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So, God bless you all. What an adventure, huh?
Yeah, it worked out.
All is an adventure pointing us all in the same direction. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so please sit straight, palms together, and be in this beautiful flow. Good. And sing this beautiful song to one another. Inhale, please. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love around you, and the pure light within you. guide your way on, guide your way on. Inhale. Satnam. And bow to your beauty, bow to your consciousness. Oh, the light coming. It is here. Acknowledge.
Siri Gian?
Yes.
That's Guru Ravi. I just texted her. She's calling back in right now for whoever is still on.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Thank you, Ranjit. Hi, Guru Ravi. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Looks like I got bounced off.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So please tell me what you are thinking about for the gonging so I can help you figure this out.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying that that Hargobind and I, each night, we do a prosperity meditation and we do a gonging together at 8 o'clock Eastern, East Coast time.
Mm-hmm.
And, we do that every night. But tonight he was suggesting to use his Venus gong for it because it has a more watery, kapha nature for the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just asked if anyone wanted to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Hargobind is back on too, so he could.
I am.
Okay,
hi, Hargobind.
Hey.
And didn't you say 8 o'clock Dallas time, which is 9 o'clock East Coast time, and 7 o'clock Mountain and 6 West Coast time?
Yeah, that's right.
No,
that's correct.
No, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock East Coast.
Right.
8 o'clock, yes, Central, 7 Mountain, and so on.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm teaching tonight, so I can't be part of it. But Guru Ravi, I know I have your phone number. I'm going to call you back, and since this is being wait a minute. I'll tell you what. Hold on. I'm going to unrecord right now. Hold on.